Hello and welcome to the new Volkswagen Polo. A car which is very important in South Africa for two reasons. Reason number one, all right-hand drive Polos for the entire world will be made right here in South Africa, which is very nice. And secondly, this car outsells every other car in this country. It tops the sales charts month after month. Well, this one and its cheaper clone, the Polo Vivo. So, is this new Polo any good? What does it offer and will it live up to expectations? Let's find out. Let's start with the exterior, which as you can see is orange. The official name for the color is actually energetic orange, and I literally have nothing to say about that. Anyway, it is an entirely new car. It's wider and longer than the car it replaces. And I think something Volkswagen have done quite successfully is to distinguish it enough from its bigger brother, the VW Golf. It has its own character. So I hear you asking, Chiro, it looks good, but how much does it cost? Which brings me neatly to the new Polo's price tag. The entry-level trendline hatch will set you back 235,000 Rand. But to be honest, that's not the variant you want. It'll be very basic, and at that price you might as well just buy the Vivo. So you can opt, as many people do, for the Comfortline, but the auto there is 280,000 Rand, which is very close to this, the top of the range Highline, which costs 302,000 Rand for the auto. And let's be honest, you don't want a manual Polo. You're going to be driving it in traffic every day. If you want a manual, buy a Mazda MX-5 or something like that and enjoy it. So the Highline, 302,000 Rand, which interestingly makes it more expensive than the bottom of the range Volkswagen Golf. And wait, there's more. If you want all the bells and whistles that I have in this particular test car, you need to spend another 41,000 Rand, which ironically is about the price of a used city Golf. So what do you get for your money? Welcome to a white room studio. It's very dreamy in here, like when somebody has a flashback in Bold and the Beautiful. Anyway, it's a great place to have a detailed look at a car's interior. So let's start with the infotainment system. I must point out this is the top of the range Discover unit. It will set you back an extra 12,000 Rand over the list price of the car. And it does give you voice control and App Connect, which gives you your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So that's very nice. It also has blind spot assist, a rear view camera, park distance control front and rear. It will park itself and the mirrors fold in electrically. But that is all part of the advanced safety package, which costs 11,750 Rand extra. You can order PDC separately, that's 3150. Although no matter how much you are willing to spend on your new Polo, you can't get away from these cloth seats. Right now, there's no leather option, but that's not to say there won't be one in the future. Overall, my general impression of the interior is that it is very premium. The look and feel is pretty special for a car in the segment, and I would say that right now it is the best interior in the segment. But there's a new Ford Fiesta coming out later this year, and that should give the Polo a run for its money. Yes, you do have to spend quite a bit extra to make it look and feel like this, but I would say that it is worth it. So the new Polo looks good inside and out, but let's remind ourselves that the one you want here costs north of 300,000 Rand. So how does Volkswagen justify that price tag? Well, I think they know that South Africans are willing to pay for the badge on the nose. It's a very familiar brand in this country, a very trusted brand. It's probably a brand you've had in your family for generations. There's a certain amount of comfort South Africans feel when buying into the brand, and that undeniably has some value. But there are little details which are impressive and which may not be as obvious at first glance or on paper. Things, for instance, like the sound deadening. Very impressive. This car is very quiet even at highway speeds, and that makes for a more relaxing drive. And when you get caught at intersections. And this actually brings me to the one thing that does bug me about how this car drives on a day-to-day basis, and that is the stop-start system. So come to an intersection, foot on the brake, the engine dies. That's all fairly standard. Foot off the brake, and it's a little bit slow to come back to life, and you sort of hear that clatter of the 3-cylinder engine. That's probably where you hear it the most actually in this car. The ride quality is very smooth. It makes the car feel quite luxurious, something you might expect from a pricier vehicle. And even little things like being able to adjust your seat in so many ways and the steering wheel to help you find the ideal driving position. It all combines to make you feel like the Polo wants you to live a better life. Polo, a better life for all. That should be this car's slogan. A larger car means a larger boot, and it has swelled from 280 to 350 liters. So it really is quite practical. Obviously the seats fold down as well, and one of my colleagues managed to get his whole mountain bike in there, with a wheel off, of course. So who says you need an SUV to live an active lifestyle? If you step into a Volkswagen showroom and ask for a new Polo, you'll be given the choice of four engines, 3 petrols, that's why I had 3 fingers up, and 1 diesel. You should probably go for this one. It's the 1-liter turbo petrol. It only has 3 cylinders, which I know freaks you South Africans out, but if nobody told you it was a tiny petrol engine, you'd never know. There's more than enough power here for your daily driving. We're getting a real world consumption average of about 7.2 liters to the 100, and even though Volkswagen claims 4.8, in terms of actual figures out on the road, 7.2 is probably at the lower end of the spectrum for small turbocharged engines in this segment. In fact, I've just come up with an idea. If I was a VW salesman and someone came in for a test drive of this Polo, I'd tell them it was a 1.4 turbo, even a 1.6, let them drive it, and then when we got back to the showroom, I'd say actually it's a 1 liter, and I bet you 9 out of 10 customers wouldn't have picked it up. It's a really good idea actually. If you're a Volkswagen salesman, please send me a check to my email address. Just get in touch. Volkswagen as a brand has been through some rough times recently, but it was entirely of their own making. However, the company continues to make compelling products which are hard to ignore. Keep in mind that coming up this year will be the new Ford Fiesta and the new Suzuki Swift, amongst others. Both of those cars are likely to undercut the Polo in terms of price. However, the Polo is likely to outsell both of those cars. It really is a well-rounded vehicle. It feels like the Beetle of our generation, although I've driven an old Beetle and it was rubbish. We really do live in the golden age of small cars. But like the Beetle, this car could be just about all the car you ever need, and that's what Volkswagen is counting on.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, maybe give it a like, and definitely subscribe to be the first to see our videos as they drop. Yeah, definitely do that.